Looks like another creepy predator cop makes the news. Predator cop lands new job investigating college campus assault. What? You got me joking me. Say what? Even I was floored. Like, you got me joking me. I didn't do a double take. I had to do a quadruple take. Like, what the? So, predator cop landed job investigating campus assault. All right, let's get to it.
Gets accused of groping a college student.
Oh.
He has to resign. Enough evidence is there to support the accusation. He leaves. Then he gets a job as a cop again in charge of investigating sexual assault.
Say what? Check this out. You want to see this shit? Look at this.
This is insane.
This is absolutely.
Who resigned after groping.
This is more than insane. This is fucking acid 10, acid 50, acid 20. This is blasphemous.
Groping a college student, landed a new job investigating sexual assault. I'm going to give you the background to this insanity. It needs to be exposed.
Oh yeah, it's going like that. It makes me want to do it. What the fuck? He's a creepy predator cop, and he gets fired because he tried to grope a college student. Then he gets another job investigating sex crime. Go figure, huh?
In 2010, David Loudon, a campus police officer at the University of Massachusetts, this is Dartmouth, resigned in the midst of an investigation into sexual harassment allegations against him. He was then rehired as a school resource officer at the Blackstone-Millville Regional School District in the nearby town of Blackstone, Massachusetts. In that new job, he was given the task to investigate sexual assault crimes and working with who? Students.
What?
In the public school system who have been sexually victimized.
Wow. Hang on a second. Pop-up ads coming up here. Well, got to pay the bills, huh? All right, we're back.
Original incident. According to the campus police report, at that time, Officer Loudon had given a 20-year-old college student a ride back to her residential hall in his cruiser. The student said he gave her a hug and groped her breast, and then proceeded to constantly harass her with frequent unwanted texts and calls. The cop resigned during the investigation into his behavior. How his current employer responded to the allegations. Blackstone Town Administrator Dori Baccio told WBUR she did not know about the allegations against the officer while he was at University of Massachusetts until the outlet contacted her. After WBUR provided further evidence of the cop's misconduct in his previous job, he was removed as school resource officer, but has stayed on the town police force.
What?
The police department's website continues to list him as an investigator who handles sexual assault
blatantly
reports.
Bunch of crap.
Now, I'm still on this issue with Officer Loudon.
Yeah.
Let me put that on the shelf just for a minute.
Okay.
And respond to the university. The university, they're claiming they did not know about his background.
Course.
Okay, that doesn't get you off the hook.
Yeah, no, exactly. Don't get you out the hook. I mean, you can sit there and say, well, we didn't know. How are we supposed to know? Let's see here. It's called do your research. You do your freaking homework. Come on.
Did you ask?
Yeah, they didn't ask.
Did you inquire? Did you check the reference?
They probably didn't.
Did you contact the former employer?
I doubt it they did.
No.
No, they didn't.
You see, if the George Floyd Policing and Accountability Act would have been law today, guess what? There would have already existed a registry for this cop.
Yep.
He would have been known to anybody, including myself and you, that this was an issue in his background. Why is that so?
Oh yeah, and the fact that knowing this, he quit during that major sexual harassment. What you think this call that happened? The George Floyd, all this stuff, the Breonna Taylor. You think this cop would still have a job? No. Where would this cop be right today? On the sex offender list. Yeah.
hard for people to
Yeah.
support. Some people are adverse to that. Wait a minute. Cops know your background. You can't know theirs. That doesn't make sense. We pay them.
Yeah. And here we go again, ladies and gentlemen. This is called qualified immunity. Should I repeat that again? Qualified immunity.
They don't pay us. But the university decided to allow this individual to work there without doing their due diligence. And for that, you all are at fault. Not asking the right questions
Yeah.
or providing a proper vetting process.
They didn't
in
do a
order to
background
protect the
research.
student
They
body.
should have done that.
How his past history of misconduct was not known. WBUR, the local agency that reported, did a great job, traced more than a dozen current Massachusetts police officers who had been fired or resigned from another police department after or during misconduct investigations, only to find work at another department. Other examples included officers who had been accused of domestic violence, arrested for drunk driving incidents, or found impersonating someone on social media and making vulgar posts.
Oh, yeah.
This is
There
why
it is.
it's really important that cops are held accountable all the way. Remember,
Yeah.
I've talked about how officers get away with crimes or
Yep.
malfeasance because they are allowed to resign.
Exactly.
The police chief,
And how many
they don't
times
have
have I
to
covered
accept the
stories where
resignation.
cops
The
get
sheriff,
away
they
with
don't have to
crimes?
accept the resignation.
Like
they can fire them.
killing people
And they
or
can
raping
also
women and children out there.
provide their name to post certification to say this person is bad news, a red flag.
Exactly.
Do not hire him. But many times, regardless of how egregious the activity is,
You know, most of the time you do a background on somebody. You know, it's like this: when you're like employer like that, and you're looking at somebody's background, trying to look into for a job. You know, they say, okay, what'd you pass? Da, da, da. And you look at their background, like say they got criminal charges or felony like that. You're like, whoa, felonies, DUI, assault, sexual misconduct, red flag, can't hire this person. Yeah, it should be the same standards and procedure for cops as well.
is from the cop. They are allowed to resign. Why? Because they can move
they are allowed to
the
get
city
a
next
same
door
kind of
and
position
become a
job
cop
at
without
another
any issue.
agency.
A Massachusetts
Another
law
precinct.
also requires police to keep private all reports and arrests for sexual and domestic violence, including those that are committed by police officers. Only cops themselves are able to access this
That's
information.
fucking
which means
ludicrous
those
bullshit.
who have perpetrated
Bullshit.
abuse are unlikely to be publicly outed and barred from
That's
joining
fucking
a different
bullshit.
police department.
Bullshit.
Is that not insane?
That cops' records are allowed to be kept
Cops
private.
should be
Fuck
the
that
ones
shit.
exposed primarily. Period.
Yeah.
If there needs to be exposure, if a cop does something like this, it has to be part of the record. Why?
And
Because
it
that's a
should
good
be public.
Public safety policy. That's why. There's more.
There's
Police
always more, baby.
spotty track record with sex crimes, sexual assault, and intimate partner violence. Reports are routinely mishandled by police officers who are known to misidentify the primary aggressor in abusive relationships, erroneously not believe that marital rape is real, and flag rapes that didn't involve a weapon or were between individuals who used to be in a relationship as false reports. Studies from the 1990s found that at least 40% of police officers self-identified as domestic abusers. This is a problem that permeates beyond that locality.
Yeah.
Ben, thoughts here?
Yeah, I mean, and like really, so it seems that there's a little bit of a presumption of innocence for police officers, which is funny because police officers, believe it or not, are among one of the most criminal demographics in the United States of America. As you pointed out with the
Exactly.
domestic abuse statistics, police officers are, I think, somewhere around 5 times as likely as any random person to be a domestic abuser. And then you look at data from, different police departments across the country, and you find that sexual harassment and sexual assault by police officers to people that they are either detaining or that called them for help or something or stuck on the side of the road, you name it, people get victimized by police officers themselves all the time. Actually, if I'm remembering this data point correctly, something like once every 10 days on average, there's another reported incident of sexual assault by a police officer in New Orleans. People make a complaint,
Wow.
but people But we don't see the
Once every
charges. We
10
don't see
days.
charges for all of these things. We just see complaints. And then those complaints go into a black box, and then they get shredded, and then they get erased. And then you have police departments like the New York Police Department, I believe, like New York City, that actually has a timeline on like, well, after 3 years, you have to delete it. You have to shred the disciplinary records.
And I would be
When
surprised
these are
Chicago
things
the
that we
same
should
way
keep for an
too, or
eternity.
Los
And fundamentally,
Angeles.
like, just aside from like the entire restructuring that our system of justice needs, at a bare minimum, when it comes to disciplinary records for police officers, if anybody should be in charge of it, it should be the public defender's office, because those are the people that need to have that information, because the police officers are the ones, right, that are accusing other people of being criminals, right? And they're the ones sending people to jail. And if we have a right to innocent before, innocent until proven guilty, then fundamentally the trustworthiness of the police officers has to be available information to the public defenders in order to properly defend people, to truly defend the public. Because unlike police officers, that is what public defenders do.
Very well said. There's a book called Gideon's Promise. I recommend everybody get that book if you're interested in criminal justice reform. And it talks about how public defenders are left out of the conversation of criminal justice reform. And they are probably the most pivotal, if resourced properly, to defend individuals vigorously.
Exactly. And I think it's such a crock of bullcrap that if a police officer is caught doing something bad on the job, or like the record should be kept private. No way. I mean, it's like us everyday people. I mean, you could look somebody up. I mean, you look at a name, and you could look at the background and see their record, what they're arrested for, what they're charged with. I mean, that kind of stuff is always there. And the fact that he didn't point, like in New York, and like I said, it's probably, I heard like Chicago and LA, I mean, no more than 5 years. I mean, like if a cop gets charged with shooting an innocent victim or molesting a woman, that stuff gets erased after a couple of years. That's a crock of bullshit. But if I was to go down the street and I got busted jaywalking, that's on my record forever. It's another case of happy fuck the cops day. That's right. Fuck the police. With that said, I'm out here. Bye, y'all. Peace out.